I'm going to share with you some of the things that I have in my tutoring kit. I really do like the lakeshore activities because they're hands-on, uh, interactive for the kids. This is a roll and read for vowel phonics game. What it is the students get cards that are missing the short vowel sound. They roll die, they get 4 of them in each play. They have to look at what's on the die and decide if it fits in one of their blanks. If they do, they write it there. If and they This can be played as a group. Once that person has used all their 4 die wherever they can, it goes to the next person, and it goes on around like that until somebody completes their card. I also have the same game in roll and read for the blends and digraphs, and again, it gives them a card, and it has 6 die on it that each have a 2-letter combination on them that they have to fill in the blends or digraph spot with those 2 letters. So in here, like if they rolled BR, they got to do bread. For thorn, they would have needed a TH. And again, it's played the same way. You go around until somebody completes theirs. And it's just a good way to practice blends, digraphs, and short vowel sounds. I have a set of picture books. This is the animal one. It's a great way to talk to kids about the cover, the back, the spine, the author, the illustrator, start them on the parts of the book. But it's just a great way too to introduce them to a book by looking at the pictures and asking them questions about it, like what do you see, how many are there, what color are they, where do you think they live, and you can go through the whole book doing that with each of the pictures. I also have a puzzle set that comes in sets of 2, and you have to match the picture, ladybug, so you're looking for the O sound, the L sound, so they locate the L, they put that together. Another example is dog, duh, they find D for the duh sound, put that together. And if you wanted to extend this activity at the end, you could ask them to put them in alphabetical order. I also have my magnetic letters. I like to keep them on a cookie sheet. These are great for letter identification. That it's an S, letter sound, eh, spelling, sit, also sounding it out, it. It's a great way to get them to spell and to teach some of the rules of spelling. You could ask them to just spell woke, and you could ask them why this says O, and they need to tell you that it's because there's a final E, makes that vowel say its name. So there's just all kinds of ways you can use these letters to teach kids letter sounds, letter identification. Then I have the favorite game of all of them that my students play, 4 in a row, CVC words. As you can see from the front, you get a game board. On the front is CVC words. I'm going to pull one out of here because on the back of the game boards, and there's several, there are phrases using the CVC words. The students spin a spinner. They pick a color that the spinner landed on. They try to read the phrase. If they read it, they get to put their marker on it. If they don't, they have to wait till their next turn. The object is to get 4 in a row. When they get 4 in a row, they win. But the fun of this game is blocking each other. So if they say there's a yellow, a yellow, a yellow, and it's red's turn and they roll a green, they can block that yellow. Again, a great way to practice sounding out words. And you're going to look at this and you're going to tell me, oh, no worksheets, but these aren't worksheets. This is a read and roll game. Here's an example where they use CVC words. Here's an example where it's just some short phrases. And then here's an example, again, of short phrases that I did some completion on to show you how it works. The student who rolled 1 successfully read the people and they highlighted it. The student who rolled 2 successfully read come and get it and they got to highlight it. All the players will have a different color. They'll roll, they'll read, they'll highlight. If they don't read it correctly, they don't get to highlight. At the end, we add up how many everybody got, and as usual, it's a competition. They've been having fun and learning at the same time. I have two other Lakeshore games. This one is Pop and Match for ending sounds. And you get cards that have a matching popper, green cards, green poppers. You pop it, the popper has a letter on it. You look at your words on your list. This is well. If your popper had LL on it, you put it there. This is rip. If your popper had the P on it, you put the P there. It helps students identify the letter, identify the sound, and then write the letter. This is also another pop and match game, but it's for the beginning sound. Same thing. You have a color-coded card with your popper. Here's orange with the orange popper. They're looking for the beginning sound. This one they popped an E. Oh, an M. Sorry, that's an M. They'd go hot, no, log, no, koala, no, male, yes. So they've identified again the letter, the sound, and written it where it belongs in the word. I have these cards from the Johnny Can Spell program, and I really like these when I am teaching letter identification and sound correspondence. This shows how the G is supposed to look. It shows other ways they might see it in the text, and it shows how it should look when they write it. And on the back, it guides the teacher that this letter makes two sounds. It makes G as in dog and J as in gem. Other things in this set are digraphs. This is It prompts the teacher to say as in her. And it also talks about, on the back of this card, that there are 5 other spellings of and they give a nonsense sentence to give you example. Her, first, nurse, works, early. And I've seen a lot of teachers have that on their wall to help the students remember that there could be 5 possible spellings of So this is just a great way to work on sound correspondence and identification. I have my blast kit here. The blast kit can be used for many, many things. I have it set up for letter substitution. We could remove the A. Well, we could read the letter bag, and then we could remove the A, add an E, and say, what do we have now? And they would say beg. And then we could replace the G with a D, and then ask them what we have, and they'd say bed. So this is a great way to work on their phonetic awareness. I also have sight words, tricky words, whatever we're going to call them these days. I would adjust this depending on what students I was working with. What I'll do is I'll use it as a warm-up, and I'll place it in front of the student. If they read it, they get to keep the card. If they don't, it goes to their neighbor. If they read it correctly, they keep it. If not, it could go all the way around back to me and go back in the pile. And then we go to the next student and the next student all the way around until the pile I've selected is done. Then they count up their words because they like to see who won, who got the most, and that's great motivation for them to practice their sight words. For sight words, I also have this game that I put together. I can't remember if I got it from Super Teacher or Teachers Pay Teachers, but it's an I have who has game on sight words, and you divide up the cards evenly among the players. They look to see who has this card to start the game. I have the first card, who has the person who has the then plays their card. I have the, who has 2, and it continues that way until all the cards are gone. Again, it's a fun way for them to practice their sight words and to identify them quickly because they're trying to find them in their pile. The last thing that I have, and I do this with some of my higher students, this is not the school game, but this is my game that I have at home. We have one at school too, and it's Scrabble. And that's really a fun way to kind of expand their skills, because they have a set of letters and they have letters on the board, and they have to figure out what they can spell using what they have. They might be missing one letter but have a blank. They need to reason that they can put that in, and I just think this is a great way to expand on their spelling. So overall, I think these are all pretty much interactive and hands-on. They really engage the students, and it involves a little bit of competition, which really keeps them focused on what they're doing. And I think they're having fun at the same time, and a lot of times I don't even think they know they're learning.